All right. So people have asked me for many weeks not to make a video in English. So there you go. I'm gonna make my first one and see what happens. All right. So I posted on social media, Facebook and stuff, some of the flies I've made with the Future Fly products from Denmark, and this one is made with opossum and Shadowfox. So I'm gonna tie this fly to show you today how I've used these materials. The materials that these guys have for sale, which are to me a very nice products. It's different, but they have a lot of use. So I'm gonna try to show you how I made this fly. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna use is I'm gonna do it on a single hook. So I'm gonna use a Daiichi spay hook. It's a 1.5 for those who want to know what size it is. All right. For this, I'm also going to use a uni thread. I like uni thread. For me, it's from my province, so I encourage people that sell in my own province. So it's 80 uni products. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tie, of course, sorry, tie my thread. So I tie up the part that comes back from the hook. So I tie it up real nice and tight and cut that off. First material I'm going to use is oval tinsel. You can use whatever one you want, whatever strikes your fancy. I'm using, again, a uni product oval in the medium size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it underneath the hook. I like to keep it underneath the hook so that when I start my wrap in the back, it starts exactly from underneath. It doesn't start on the side or anything like that. It always starts from underneath. All right, once I've done that, I'm going to do 5 turns, one in front of the other, like this. Then I'm going to tie this off, make 3 nice turns, nice and tight. Then I'm going to bring my thread back to where I started, which means right here. I'm going to take my tinsel and I'm going to bring it back here, and I'm going to tie it off right in the front there when I pull on it a little bit, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back in the back here towards where I started so that it's, once again, right at the back, okay, and underneath my hook, okay? So that way, when I start the turn on the body, it will start underneath. Also, it makes the body a little thicker, which is nice when you're using tinsel to make your body, especially flat tinsel. Oh, hope I have enough here. What I'm going to use for the body is holographic tinsel. This is a large gold. You could use whatever you want. You could use braided tinsel, gold braided tinsel, or you could use the Future Fly flat braid. This one is copper. They make them in yellow. They make them in all kinds of colors. So you could use that also. So I'm going to take this yellow gold tinsel, and I'm going to cut it with a nice little, like this here. I'm going to take a little point like that so that I can tie it right where I started my fly. All right. Now, since myself, I'm using what you call the rotary vise, and also, all right, I like to use it to make my bodies. So I'm going to bring back my little, okay, bobbin holder, and then I'm going to go towards the back and come back doing my rotation. I always like when using tinsel, especially flat tinsel, to make two rows, always going back and forth with it, always. So that way I make sure that not only all the hook is well hidden, but it doesn't make any kinks in it either. So there I come back in the front. So I'm going to take my bobbin. You could use also, there's also some bobbins that are, I'm going to put that away. Some bobbins that are mechanic automatic, like the Norvise, or there's a few people that make them. For those of you who do a lot of rotary stuff, you can use those. That's kind of nice too, but I'm kind of old school a little bit, so I like to keep my stuff simple. All right. Now, before I do the wrap on the body, I like to take, since it's flat tinsel, I like to take a little bit of super glue here from Shadowfox and just put some on the top here, just a little coat, all right, so that you know, if the fish bites it, it doesn't unwind and stuff like that, even if it has an oval wrap on it to protect it. Now I'm going to talk to you while this dry about the hair. All right, this is American opossum. The color here is called banana yellow. Or you can use this either to make single flies, double hook fly. You can also make tube flies. When I make tube flies with opossum, I like to do it two ways. Either I use it as a single here, or like on this here, okay, I made a strip here, like a zonker strip, like a triangle strip, and this is a triangle strip that I made to make this fly here. All right, you can see it on the bottom here. I made a strip cut in a triangle, all right, to make a strip on this tube. So you can use it two different ways. You see, for example, even on this big hook, if I was to put a strip on it, you see how far it would go into the back. Look how the fly would look if I made it that way to go towards the back, okay? So you can use it this way, or you can use it just as a single hook. Now I'm gonna come back with my tinsel towards the front here, like this. Always attach your stuff at the top so you don't cut your thread off when you cut it. All right, so now the body's done. Now I'm gonna make a little bit of, gonna come forward and back just to make a little hump here so that my hair kind of lifts off a little bit when I cut it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to take some opossum here. I won't take that much, just a little bit. I'm gonna cut it right at the base here, like this. Now you can see that I have the long hair and the shorter hair. I don't want to remove the long hair, but I will remove some of the fur underneath there. And by the way, I don't throw this away. Me, I keep it. They're wonderful to make nymphs and stuff, stoneflies and, you know, hare's ears nymph, this color and stuff. So I like to keep the material. I don't throw it away. I like to keep it. I'm gonna put it here because I got little bags full of this stuff there. I go there. All right. So now I'm going, now you can measure a little bit. I like for the black little hair here to come around the barb of the hook. So I'm just gonna tie this off here, tie this up like this. Where I finished, like that. All right. Now some are gonna say, well, you're pretty far behind. You're leaving a lot of space in the front. But don't forget, we're gonna wrap two hackles, one in front of the other, to bring them back. Then we have another hair to put on. So that's why I do it this way, okay? Now I'm gonna come and cut this up here. I don't cut it all. I leave a little bit here so that I make a nice little taper head. I don't cut it all off. And I'm gonna cut and come and do that little taper head here, like that. It's easier also to wrap the hackle and things, so this is how I like to do it. There you go. That's a little bit of static. There we go. Take that off. All right. Now for hackle, I'm gonna use two hackle. I'm gonna use a yellow, okay, American saddle hackle. These are from Free to Fly. This is yellow, and this is Sunburst Grizzly. These are the two that I'm gonna use. But what I'm gonna use not the same size. What I mean by this is that I don't want to have the feather with the same length of fiber. So I'm always gonna take the first one, which is the yellow, and then the grizzly yellow Sunburst that has the fibers a little less long. So if I do this like that, and I'm gonna show you, see? The fibers on the grizzly are a little bit shorter than the yellow. The reason for that is like, I want to have this look on the fly. You see, I want to have the look of the yellow a bit longer so that you can see here that the yellow goes past, okay? So that's what I like. I like this look, so I like to have the two different that way so that we see them really well, not just a little bit in between the feathers. So that's my own style, so people can do what they want. If they want to do it the other way around, it's fine too. So, all right. So I'm gonna tie this over here, like that. Come forward and gonna go back with it so that it doesn't take off on me or pull out when I tie it, cut that. Now you can do two things. You can use a tool or your scissors and just pass it nicely without cutting the stem on the top of your feather and on the bottom so that it's easier to go backwards. So now I'm going to tie this right in front of the other, like that. Take my fibers like this. And I'm going to come forward with it, like that. There we go. We'll make the final turn, like that. So we have the yellow hackle all tied up. What I like to do also after that is I take a dubbing brush, or you can take this brush that I use for the hair to brush the hair, and I'm just going to brush the feathers, the stem, the feathers out. So that way my fibers are not all stuck together. They're kind of all nice and okay. I'm sure you know what I mean. All right, so now we've got the yellow done. So now we're going to do the second one, which is the grizzly gold. So grizzly sunburst. So I'm going to tie that one over here, like so. All right, cut this off. You can leave some, that doesn't matter, because it's all going to go away as you tie the feathers and you're not going to see it. All right, so again, I'm going to use my fingers or a tool, and I'm just going to wrap the grizzly fibers around like that. Really nice, like this. There you go. Finish that turn just right here, right in the front here. There you go, like this. There. And now I can tie this up, which is nice. And now you can see that the fibers, you can see that on the fly, the yellow hackle is longer than the grizzly one. So I like to have that look on this fly. But that's, like I said, everybody has their own ideas on what they like to have for looks, but that's the look that I like. All right, next step that I'm going to do here is I'm going to use some Shadowfox. Now this is Shadowfox, again, a product from Fly, and this one is called Gold, okay? That's a nice gold one, I like it. The hair is a little bit shorter, so it's excellent when you make small flies. And I'm just going to use it to make a little overwing with it. So I'm just going to cut some up. Then, as usual, I'm going to take and remove that. Keep the dubbing. For those who tie other flies than salmon, like me. Like I like to fish for trout, sea run trout, and all kinds of stuff. So, all right. So here we go. So now I have the hair. Okay, you don't want it to go more than about half the wing. You don't want it that much longer. You just want it to make some kind of a little shoulder on top of the fly. So what I do myself is I like to press on it like this to put it flat on top of the hook so that it kind of goes, envelopes the other stuff. You see, like that, flat. You know, like this, you can always, after that, place it like you want, like we do on tube flies and stuff. So I like to put it flat like this and see what kind of, see, I make it, it's about the length of the yellow fibers on the hackle and about halfway through the wing. All right. So now I can cut this up. Like this. All right. Then what I have to do is I'm going to take 2 strands of crinkle flash. Okay, these ones are yellow. Okay, I'm going to take 2 strands of crinkle flash. You could put Flashaboo Gold or whatever. And I'm going to tie one on each side of the fly, on top and on the side a little bit. So just on top and on the side, just like that. Whoop, you could probably take your hand and tie it underneath the thread like I've seen some people do. But all right, so here's my 2 strands. So I'm going to cut them just a little bit longer than the back wing, just like that. So it kind of elongates the wing a little bit so you can see that there are 2 right there. Those are the 2 little flash that I will make. All right, and then for those who have some, you can put some jungle cock on there. Sometimes there's a little crack in the jungle. So what I do is I take a little bit of super glue and I just go on the back of it. You know, so some people don't have the means to buy like $300 neck or whatever. So I just put some in the back of it like this, and with my fingers I just kind of pull on it like this. So it kind of pulls it together, and then it doesn't break. So I'm gonna measure myself. I want it about this length here. So some people put them on together as 2. I like to put them on just one by one. We all have our little, like I said, our little tricks and ways that we like to do things. So I'm going to put that one like this here. All right, so I put the second one here like this. And then you can just flip them back a little bit like that. So to make sure that they don't come out like this here, like that. I like to do that. And then cut off. Like that. Okay. There we go. So now we can make a little knot. Like this. Very easy. You guys all know how to do that. And then use some super glue. And then once the glue is dried up, what I like to do is I put a little bit of black lacquer to finish the head nicely. Like if I make 3 or 5 of them, I put them all the greasy glue at the same time, and then once they're all dried up, then there's the opossum little fly that I made. So that gives you guys an idea on how I made that. So hope you enjoyed it. Take it easy. Bye.